By way of this video, I want to introduce you to the Mother Bear Sanctuary and Retreat Center. So it's started by two people, Dave Tuscany, who has been a dear friend for many years, love him to pieces, and his partner, Barbra White. They started the sanctuary and they've started doing a lot of work around people doing their own personal work and coming to know more of who they are and find out what they can do while they're here to make a change. And I guess the easiest way to say it is to be the change that you want to see. It's been said before. So what is it about being the change? Barbra talks in this video really eloquently and beautifully about her vision of what it means to be the change, and starting at the core of loving yourself, which is so important, and what that means for you in response not only to yourself, but in response to the world around you. And in this day and age, it's so important to remain centered in who you are and to know that you have help along the way to do that. So let's take a listen to what Barbra has to say.
Good morning from the New Mexico mountains. I'll be back home in beautiful Michigan tonight. I love Michigan. I love its seasons. I love its forests. What I want to talk to you about is creating real change. So often we see Gandhi's quote, "Be the change you want to be in the world," loosely said. Be the change, right? We see it everywhere. We see it on sports drinks. We see it on the social media. But have you ever read the actual words of Gandhi beyond that? Or the words of Grace Lee Boggs? Or the words of Martin Luther King? Or the words of St. Clair? All these people that created true movements at the time. Because right now we're in an era where we need a movement. We need a change from violence and finger pointing to collaboration, connection, harmony, where we care about each other no matter our political beliefs or our color of our skin or our gender or sex identification, that we really care about each other. You know, we hear love thy enemy, which doesn't mean lay down and be a doormat, because love is fierce. Love is like a mother bear. What do I mean by that? Gandhi said that, I'm going to say it wrong, so bear with me, Ahimsa, H-I-M-M-S-A, I am pronouncing it wrong, but that's nonviolence, right? And to really embrace all people as our family. Martin Luther King talked about nonviolence and his peaceful protests. And so when we talk about, and Christ said, love thy enemy. So when you love people that maybe you disagree with, or maybe they're creating violence, that kind of love includes a no. That kind of love of when you stand and you love all people, you don't then just become complacent. You actually become more intolerant of the racism and the homophobia and the Republicans hating the Democrats. And you just begin to go, no, we're all part of the same family. And then from that place of acceptance, you don't just accept it and say, oh, I'll just send them a prayer. You actually are guided into right action. See, all of the activism programs I do, going out to Inkster, creating Mother Bear, working with nonprofits, that doesn't come from fear and anger. Thich Nhat Hanh also talks about taking action from love, not from that place of anger and fear and finger pointing. See, true change comes from accepting the parts of you that are in anger or fear or that are vibing at the same level of the people you're pointing the finger at, right? Hear me. And when you love those parts of yourself, that's why self-love is powerful. Then you can look out into the world and look at those parts of yourself, essentially, that are hurting each other and just forgotten their brilliance. And you're not saying you agree with it, but you're able to see it with love. And then you'll be guided into right action from that place. That's why we do our inner work, not so we can get so good at loving ourselves and wear our Lululemon yoga pants and And no, that, we love ourselves so that we can be inspired, because we're all social activists. We are all called to be a beneficial presence. We're all healers. You are a healer. When you do your inner work and you love the parts of you that are vibing with the thing that you're upset with, that's hard. That's work. Then you can look out into the world and be a healer just in your viewing. See, the heart unites, the mind divides. Coming into your heart. No matter your politics, no matter your color, you've got beings that love you. They love you no matter what. Because you are loved, as my favorite activist and friend out in Royal Oak, Jeff Nelson. You're loved, and there's nothing you can do about it.